In one of our previous Security in Motion episodes, I said something that seems quite common sense. If you want to stand out in the security field, right now, all you have to do is have punctuality and focus. And that's true because in an industry where many people do the minimum, just showing up early and staying mentally prepared and focused during your entire shift already separates you from the bottom tier. But standing out is not the same as being a professional. Professionalism is structured, it's deliberate, and it's visible. In our opinion, there are 7 traits of a professional security responder. The first one is high visibility. Unconfident security workers hide. They position themselves where they're least likely to be seen or tested. They hope and pray that nothing happens. Professional responders also hope nothing happens, but they do not hide. They're visible, they're engaged, and they position themselves deliberately. Visibility is not ego, it's deterrence. And if something does happen, they're in place, ready, and trained to respond. Quick decision making. That's the second one. Security often operates in compressed time. You must decide without emotion, and you have to act without ego. And you must understand that perfect cannot be the enemy of done. You gather the information, you apply your training, and you make the best decision at the time. Hesitation creates risk, emotions create liabilities. Professionals act decisively, and they can always articulate why they acted in such a manner. Body of knowledge. Security is not guesswork. In Ontario, we operate under PISA, or the Private Security Investigative Service Act. There are legal authorities, there are limits, and there are obligations. A professional knows the law under which they operate. They understand policy and they can document it properly. If you cannot explain your authority, you should not be exercising it. Professionals rely on structured knowledge, not instinct and guesswork. Commitment to continuous training is the next one, and it's an important one to me. Licensing is the starting line, not the finish line. Threats evolve, public expectations change, legal scrutiny increases. If you are not training, you are not progressing. And I'll say this clearly. Please do not consider yourself a professional if you do not train. You may be a good employee, but professionalism requires maintenance. Communication skills must be updated. Legal knowledge must be sharpened. Decision making must be practiced. Physical readiness must be maintained. As the old saying goes, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall down to the level of your training. Training is not optional. It is really the dividing line between a security responder and an employee. The next one is adaptability. We have to forget the phrase, this is how we've always done it. Times change, risks change, and technology changes. Rigid security quickly becomes outdated, or obsolete security. Professionals adapt without ego. They evolve with the environment, they stay current. We have to realize comfort is not competence. The next one is trust and ethics. Ethics is trust. Trust with the client, trust with the company, and trust with your team. If your team cannot trust your judgment or trust that you have their back, you're not a leader. Leadership is not authority, it's responsibility. If the company cannot trust you interacting with the client, then you should not be at that site. And this needs to be said. Undermining your own company to curry special treatment of the client is not professionalism. It's short-term positioning that damages the long-term credibility of the client, the employee, the company, and ultimately our industry. Clients notice it, teams notice it, and eventually leadership notices it. Authority without integrity destroys trust. And once trust is lost, it is very difficult to rebuild. Public trust. This is where we start talking about the uniform, because the uniform matters. We need to start wearing it with pride, not untucked, not dirty, not careless. When you wear your uniform, you represent more than yourself. You represent your company, your profession, and the authority entrusted to you. The public does not separate you from the industry. Your presentation either reinforces trust or it erodes it. So basically, if you want to stand out in the security field, punctuality and focus will take you far. Just doing those two things, and I have to note that those two things to do are free. Be on time. Being late should be the exception, not the rule. Be focused on what you're supposed to do the entire shift. This will make you a good employee. But if you want to be a professional, you want to be a responder, you must build traits intentionally. The difference between a security employee and a security professional, it's not the uniform, it's the preparation, it's the self discipline, and it's the standards. Professionalism is structured, not optional. This is what we strive for in the security responder program. Professionalism sets the standard.